Hey guys, this is Siettmann Sports, and today we're going to be talking about why is it that NBA ratings are down this year. Now, they're not only down this year, they were down for the 2018 and 2019 season as well. And there's a lot of people who have a lot of theories as to why it is that less people are watching the NBA in America. Now, there are some theories that I think are true, and there are some theories that I think are false, but I'm here to tell you the 4 reasons why I think that NBA ratings are down this year and what they could do to improve it. Number 1 is that the biggest stars in the NBA right now are basically all on the West Coast. And so when it comes to a lot of people in America watching the games, and a lot of the population is concentrated on the East Coast in America, you don't have a lot of people who have access to watch those 10 o'clock, 10:30 games that start in Los Angeles or start in Golden State. And when you talk about LeBron, who is still the biggest figure of the league being in Los Angeles with Anthony Davis, and then Kawhi and Paul George, the 2 most prominent teams in the NBA right now are both in Los Angeles and both West Coast teams. And when you look at the Eastern Conference, you have the Milwaukee Bucks, but it's a small market and Giannis doesn't have quite the pull that a LeBron has, just not quite yet. And so when you're trying to draw viewers in, they don't have that 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock national televised game that is drawing the fans in, because you're not going to get the Lakers or the Clippers in that time slot a lot. So I really think the biggest stars in the NBA being on the West Coast is one of the reasons that national TV ratings are down, especially for that early slot on TNT or ESPN. The second reason why I think specifically this year that NBA ratings are down is because the best stars in the league, some of them just aren't playing right now. You have the Warriors, who have become completely irrelevant this year, with Steph being out most of the year, Klay Thompson being out most of the year, and Draymond having his injuries as well. The Warriors, which last year were the biggest draw in the league and were a super team, is now basically a team that nobody really wants to watch, yet they're still getting a lot of these primetime slots. You have the same thing with the Pelicans with Zion Williamson. Zion Williamson was supposed to be one of the biggest draws for the NBA. It was advertised over and over again, and the Pelicans had a bunch of national TV games, not so we could see Brandon Ingram or Lonzo Ball or Josh Hart. And we have Zion, who is the biggest college star basically in the last 2 decades. Also, while having Kevin Durant out for the Brooklyn Nets, and all of a sudden some of your biggest stars, some of your biggest draws are not there. And they're not only there not for attendance, but for people at home watching the games. And people like to see familiar faces, especially the casual fan. And you're going to have a lot of fans who are great fans of basketball who will tune in, who like the parody of the league. But when you're missing your stars and the league is sold on stars, it affects the product, and it affects the people who want to watch the product. I think having Steph and Zion and KD all out, it has a negative impact on the NBA ratings. I don't think it's something that is talked about enough. The third reason that I have that NBA ratings are down is the one that really it frustrates me the most. And it's the fact that former NBA players and people who cover the league just really crap on basketball today on national television. You know, whether it's the guys on TNT like Kenny Smith, Charles Barkley, and Shaq, or on ESPN with Paul Pierce and Jalen Rose. I mean, a plethora of these guys talk about basketball and how much better it was 20 years ago, and how the league was so much greater then, and then the game is terrible now. There's too many threes. All the players are soft. They're all divas. And people listen to that, and they feed into it, and then they think to themselves, oh, this has to be true because these guys I respect are now saying this, and now these are the reasons that they don't want to watch basketball. If you ask a lot of people why they don't watch the NBA, it's because of theories that basketball isn't good anymore. The game is soft. The players are divas. Where do you think they're getting these ideas from? They're getting a lot of these ideas from people who cover the league themselves, who can't appreciate what's in front of them. And I can tell you right now that, in all honesty, basketball is better than ever. It's better than it ever has been. The players are more skilled than ever. And yes, the game is different, but that's because we become smarter about how we play the game. We're more efficient about how we play it. And yes, there's more threes, and maybe that's not appealing to some people, but all people do is crap on how the game is played. And when these former players do this, they're not promoting the game they had. This also is a problem in baseball as well, but I feel like at least when you watch football analysts, they seem to promote the game they have, and they still love the game. when it comes to basketball, I mean, it's a lot of just curmudgeons talking about the game and how it used to be so much better and it's terrible now. And I really think that feeds into it. The other part with the media is that they cover a lot of the times almost everything except for the actual game itself. We spend so much time talking about free agency, potential trade situations, whether or not a guy, drama in the locker room, whether or not somebody likes each other or not. And I think a lot of people are drawn away from that. And while I kind of like it because I think the NBA is the best soap opera and the best reality TV show out there, I think a lot of people are put off by it, and they don't want to hear about whether or not Kyrie Irving and LeBron James like each other, or Kevin Durant and Draymond Green like each other. They don't care about that stuff. They don't care about the drama between Chris Paul and James Harden. They just want to hear about the game. And when you turn on SportsCenter and when you turn on shows about the NBA, a lot of this stuff isn't about what happened last night in the game. It's, oh, did Russell Westbrook, get revenge on the Oklahoma City Thunder? I mean, it's a lot of topics like that. And I think sometimes people just want to hear about the game itself, but they can't do it because it's clustered with so much else. And so I really believe the media's coverage of the NBA has a really big effect on how people view it. Because if this is where you're getting your information from, you're going to sit there and say, why am I watching this? And you're going to go watch something else. My fourth reason is really exactly that. There are so many options we have as consumers these days, and really more than ever. And even in the last couple of years, when you look at Disney Plus and Hulu and all these things on Netflix, we have so many options of sources of entertainment. We didn't used to have that 15, 20 years ago when we were viewing television on sports in a different light. And I think not just the NBA, but all sports in general have to adjust to the fact that the way we watch things and the way we consume things is changing at a rapid pace. Whoever does know where it's going is going to make a lot of money, obviously, but we have so many options now for entertainment. If you're watching a basketball game and you feel a little bored, you have a million different other options that you can look at. And I really think with the NBA on a nightly basis, when you're turned off by the media from it, and you can just go watch your favorite show on Netflix, you can watch your favorite show on Hulu, you can stream movies here, stream movies there, you now are gonna have a less of an option or less of a tendency to choose to watch the NBA, or maybe you're just gonna go do something else and spend your time on that. We don't even have enough time to consume all the things we want. I mean, I can personally vouch for that. There are shows and movies that I don't have the time to watch that have been on my list forever because we have so much content now that we are trying to consume and we just don't have enough time for it, especially for a casual person who has a job or has a family. And so I really think that plays a factor into it when you're talking about the casual fan, because the casual fan may only have 1 hour of entertainment a night, and if he chooses to not watch basketball with that, it could be a logical decision. So the question is going to be is, in this era of consumption, how are we going to get people to watch basketball and want to pay attention? And again, I do think it starts with promoting the league as a great league, promoting the young players, and promoting the game as the best it has ever been. Really, I think those four things are the biggest reasons that NBA ratings are down. And I think some of them are fixable, right? You have the fact that you can have more stars in the East Coast in 5 years, depending on where guys go. You have the fact that you can change how the media covers the game. And also you have the fact that next year, maybe Steph and KD and Zion aren't going to be out with injuries. So I do think there is a big chance for the NBA to improve on this. But there is a perception about the NBA that people have that is going to have to be fixed. And how do you fix that? It's going to take a while. It's going to take time. It's going to take growth. But when people scream doom for the NBA, I think it's a little bit overblown. Just as it was overblown when people said that the NBA was going to catch the NFL. It's nowhere close to the NFL where it comes to America, and it probably won't be in the next 25 or 50 years. Could it eventually pass it? Yeah, it could. But NFL will always be king in this country until the NBA finds a way to make a huge jump. But the NBA is better than ever. And I feel like I say that a lot on here, but I just want to emphasize that because this is the year that the NBA is most competitive and we truly don't know who's going to win the championship. And parity was supposed to be the thing that was going to fix this, right? But it hasn't. And maybe that's the loss of super teams. And maybe super teams is what draws the casual fan in. So I don't know exactly how to fix it. I'm not an expert on it. I'm just giving you my opinion. But I think it's fixable for the NBA, and I don't think you should overreact to ratings being down. There's ways to fix this. There's ways to get better. And if you're a casual fan wondering if you should watch the NBA, I really think you should. And I promise you, they're not paying me. Thank you guys for watching this episode. I need you guys to step up for me and subscribe to my channel, Siettmann Sports. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. My name's Jimmy Siettmann. Thank you guys for watching.